Good morning. My name is Raden Roro Anasthasia Endah Condro Cahyaning Pamanasi Widyarini. My student number is 181008, and today I would like to talk about sociolinguistics, language teaching, and new literacy studies. So we will talking about the relation between sociolinguistics, language teaching, and new literacy studies. First, I will explain about social theories of language. We will mainly draw upon two lines of development. The first is ethnography of communication. Ethnography of communications tradition is influenced not only how language is conceptualized for language education, but also how the social can be taken into account in complex linguistics and educational environment. The second is the development of systemic functional linguistics or SFL. The fundamental insight of SFL has been that the use of language is itself a constitutive part social action and the linguistic research. For example, lexis and grammar themselves embody social meaning. Sociolinguistics in communicative language teaching or CLT. CLT was generally associated with a break with the grammar-focused approaches to language teaching. In the move away from grammar-oriented approaches to language teaching, communicative competence offers language educators a dynamic and situated perspective on language and language use. Chanel and Swain produced a series of seminal papers that can be regarded as the foundation for the formation of the concept of communicative competence in foreign or additional language pedagogy. Chanel and Swain proposed that communicative competence comprises four areas of knowledge and skills. First is grammatical competence. Grammatical competence allows the language learner to make use of the basic fabric or a language, so to speak, and to understand and produce the literal or proportional meaning of language expression. Second, sociolinguistics competence. Sociolinguistic competence addresses the extent to which utterance are produced and understood appropriately in different sociolinguistic contexts, depending on contextual factors such as status and participants, purpose of the interaction, and norms of conventions in interactions. Third, discourse competence. This competence is concerned with organization features of spoken and written text. It deals with the knowledge and skill required to combine lexical and grammatical forms with context and purpose relevant meanings to produce different types of unified spoken and written text. The last one is strategic competence. This component of competence refers to additional language learner capacity to achieve communication goals by mastery of verbal and nonverbal communication strategy that may be called into action for two main reasons. A, to compensate for breakdown in communication due to limiting condition in actual communication. B, to enhance the effectiveness of communication. Characteristic of CLT. First, paying attention to the components like grammatical, discourse, functional, sociolinguistic, and strategic of communicative competence. Second, use of classroom activities and student tasks that would engage learner in the pragmatic, authentic, functional use of language for a meaningful purpose. And the last one is use of the teacher as a facilitator and guide. So students are therefore encouraged to construct meaning through genuine linguistic interaction with others. Sociolinguistics in classroom ethnography. Sociolinguistic surveys have been carried out to provide information on students and languages in multilingual communities. As an example, the Linguistics Minority Project in 1985 provided insightful information on patterns of language use and language teaching among different groups of Asian and Eastern European minorities in England. The classroom context. An apt link between the different traditions under consideration here. The social turn into sociolinguistic work with particular reference to study of classroom discourse, and the social turn in literacy studies with particular reference to ethnographic approaches and cross-cultural studies. Sociolinguistic in functional grammar. This functional principle is carried over and built into the grammar, so that the internal organization of the grammatical system is also functional in character. There are infinite options in meaning making, and language can be seen as a meaning potential. The meaning options are categorized in terms of three functional components: ideational, interpersonal, and textual. Genre theory in sociolinguistic and literacy studies. Genre which are conventional structures which have evolved as pragmatic schemes for making certain types of meaning and to achieve distinctive social goals in specific settings by particular language means. The idea is that by construing genre in this particular way, it is possible to understand how language works, who it works for, why it works in a context-sensitive way. And finally, the last one is New Literacy Studies, or NLS. With the social constructivist epistemological base and ethnographical theoretical perspective and methodologies, New Literacy Studies addresses the analysis of communication and therefore interaction. NLS, or New Literacy Studies, researchers take the text as the defining elements of communication. NLS over an environment to analyze communication from the immediate situation to the analysis of social practices and communities. Another aspect of NLS is the role of mediation of text and other means. So that's all the presentation for me. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.